Did you know that sleep enhances creativity? I bet you did not. A quick nap here and there can help a person's ability to enhance more creativity. Creativity, as Steve Jobs puts it, is just connecting things, and sleep acts as a bridge to bring together a myriad of ideas. So if you want to learn the tips and tricks to enhance your creativity skills, you need to join me on this webinar. My name is Anna Komal and I welcome you all on board. So starting off, my first question to all of you is, what is creative thinking? Creative thinking at its core is thinking unconventionally. It is gaining new insights and different ideas through existing information that you have on hand. Thinking creatively is basically thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box is a very important focal skill that any person should possess in today's modern digital world. Thinking outside the box is basically all the ideas that are creative and unusual. They are not limited by rules. So, a person needs to polish the skill of thinking outside the box, and they need to learn new learning ways and new ways of thinking more creatively. So, in today's webinar, we are going to be talking about how to increase creativity. So, the first tip that I'm going to give you is open your mind to unexplored paths. It is very important that you have an open mind, that you're open to new experiences and new adventures when you are going through your life. So, creativity is basically usually tagged with originality. Thinking creatively may bring different threats and different challenges in your life, but you need to have the skill to overcome those challenges and to think outside of the box. It is important to learn from different experiences and adventures in your life because that is going to help you have greater imagination. Now, we are also going to be discussing another tip. Increasing creativity is very important when you have a curious nature. When a person is curious, he is going to ask a lot of questions. When a person is curious, just like a child who is very imaginative because they have a very curious nature. So that person, when he's going to ask a lot of questions, he's going to understand and learn from other people's experiences and other people's stories. So a person who has a curious nature and asks multiple numerous questions is going to increase creativity in turn. All right. So another tip that I'm going to be giving you is to tell stories. It is very important that a person should share their experiences and their stories with others. Every person has a different kind of a story to tell. And when you're telling stories, when you're exchanging ideas, it is important that you give the other person the entire visual aids. You give the other person the right imagination because it is important for that person to visualize what the scenario actually was, because visualization plays a very important part in being creative. Okay, so moving on, now we're going to discuss creativity is going to be increased when you're going to spend time with creative people. It is very important to have those peer groups who are very creative. You need to synergize your energies with people who are creative, who are smart, who think outside of the box. Those people are going to give you tips and tricks to think outside the box, become more creative, more smart, and have good ideas around you. They are going to help you have good positive energies around you. So it is important that you have such people around you because your surrounding is going to play a very important part in developing your creative mind. Another tip that I'm going to be giving you is developing your talents. It is very important that a person possesses a talent and a person should develop that talent in turn. It is important that the person has the right ways of moving forward with those talents, because when you have passion, you are going to get your talents developed. When your talent is developed, you're going to learn new things, and when you're going to learn new things, in turn, you're going to act more creatively. So it is important that all of you guys learn from all these tips and tricks how to enhance your skills on creativity, how to think outside of the box, how to have new ideas generated around you, what kind of people you're going to surround yourselves with, and what kind of energy and synergy you're going to have, because a positive mind is going to be a creative and smart mind. Now we're going to discuss different stages of creativity. It is a very important part when you're going to learn about creativity. So, the first phase or stage that we're going to talk about in creativity is the preparation stage. Preparation stage is very important because preparation stage is going to give you a head start and the know-how of what you're going to do, whether it is a project or whether it is a life decision you're going to make. So, preparation phase is basically the research phase. It will tell you whether you're going to do positive research or whether you're going to make use of primary or secondary research methods. The second stage of creativity is called the incubation stage. Incubation stage is basically the stage where you take a step back from the problem and you let your mind wander of how you're going to overcome that problem. This is the phase where your creativity is going to kick in. The third stage of creativity is called the illumination stage. The illumination stage is basically where the classic eureka or the aha moment is created. It is important to have that spark in your research because that spark is going to give you the right drive and energy, and it is going to give you more positivity to overcome the challenge or to complete your task more creatively and more smartly. The last stage in creativity is called verification. Whenever you're doing a project or whenever you have to make a life decision, it is important that you verify all the steps that you've taken. Your action steps need to be verified, they need to be monitored, and they need to be evaluated. So, it is important that in the verification stage, you analyze all your steps and you do the gap analysis. That is very important. Your gap analysis is then going to identify how you're going to make the process more creative. So, I'm sure by learning all these 4 stages of creativity, you guys are going to implement these stages in your life or in your professional worlds, and these are going to help you become more creative, have good idea generation techniques around you, and you're going to be smart. So, today's webinar basically taught you different tips and tricks enhance your skills of creativity. It is important skill. This skill is in high demand in today's modern digital world. So, I hope you had some fun and I hope you learned some tips and tricks to become more creative.